March 1st, 2017 replay. The market apparently liked Trump's speech. Look at this thing. And I stopped around 11 here, so I mean, this thing's just ridiculous. You know, the strange thing is I used to struggle with days like this. I'll show you why. I mean, this is a good example here. So you're waiting to get in, but all the moves, the bars, you know, you get like kind of these little tick guys. It's not the dramatic entries that we get sometimes. So I'll wait, and then inevitably I'll get frustrated, and this is where I would go long, right here, right? I'd go long right here. It pulls me back. It's almost impossible to get stopped out today, and I picked the one spot that I would get stopped out. So if that happened to you, don't feel bad about it. It's just, it happens, especially when you're learning. I mean, man, a year in, I'm still pulling stuff like that. Go along here. Oh, I can't miss this one finally. I missed all this stuff. Oh, the only spot in the whole freaking day that I could have got stopped out, and I did. It was like magic. But, let's get to the trades. Man, let's pull it back here. There's probably a lot of places you really could have gone long. Been fine. But I'll show you where I liked and why I liked those areas. And when you're starting out the day, you come in and you're like, clearly, we're going up. And, I mean, you even had good stuff here. First failed entry, second failed entry. I mean, maybe not exactly because of this little stupid bar. But basically, first failed entry, second failed entry. That happened at 6 in the morning. I am not up at 6 in the morning. And so you've got this clear up trend. And this is how I started. That there. Sit in. That looks good enough. So that's where I started out. And let's get this market moving. So it's moving through here. My trend that I drew doesn't hold very long. And you get this little pullback here in a strong uptrend, you know, like this. Even that stuff starts looking good here. But like I said, I had, you know, it's like magic. I could pick the one spot in the day that would stop me out. So I got more cautious. I'm not going long there. This was also tempting, even as small as it is. But, you know, I got a little flat, so I didn't feel bad about missing any of that. And my trend, I don't really have a trend going on here. So it's kind of just playing over. And I was like, well, that's nice. If it bounces off of this, I'm going long. And also, on a shorter term, you're pretty safe. You've got that. You've got the massive uptrend. Bounces off the EMA. That's where I went long for the first one of the day. And then I'm looking for a target. And so I got to find a reason why I'm going long, or where I've got my target at. So I figured maybe we got something like this going on. Actually, I had it too high. I had it off of here, going up there first, but it ended up being here. It was the right spot. And I figured we're coming up to the other side of this thing. So I just put my stop way up there because I really didn't know how far it could go. And then, of course, a little worried it could come down to this side. But you get that first one pretty, oops, sped it up a little too much. So you get that first one pretty easily, you know, and then it works its way up. And I think I had it like up here somewhere, and it ended up getting me out eventually. And there wasn't really a rhyme or reason to it. I just thought it was going to come back to the other side here. It never really did. It ends up kind of running along the trend this way and going up high enough that it got me. And so, I mean, there's not a lot to do here, right? So this is the place to get in. You got first entry, you got second entry. If you missed that one, maybe here. Because you get the little pullback and then you go, and but anything after that, you kind of just have to let it go. It starts doing its thing coming back. And that's where I was talking about earlier, where I would have gone long. But even with the way the market's going, it's not off any kind of decision point, you know. It's not off the Emini. It's not off where you think the trend line could be. It sucks watching this stuff go without you, but sometimes it's just life. And I was ready to go off that EMA again if it bounced off there. It comes back. It's set up first here, and so it kind of broke my trend, but I thought that, hey, that was good enough, right? So I went long above this bar here. And then when it pulled back, I actually went long again. I added on one up here on this bar. So first I went long after this bar, even though it wasn't technically a second entry from here. But you had this double bounce, you have the move. I'm thinking that maybe this is still playing on trend anyway, even though my trend line's not there. You know, you could get it something like that, I think, is where at the end of the day it ends up being for real, is right there. Yeah. And, I mean, come on. That's a good entry, so you gotta go. And then I moved it way up again, because I thought maybe it'll come to the other side now. And it does its thing, and I don't really get back in, even though here might have been okay. It's not the best. But you come up and you bounce off it again, and then it gives you another good place to go long. I mean, there was a lot of good places to get in here. Could have gone long there. Could have gone long again when it bounces off the deal. Because you don't know. This thing could go to the moon. And it basically has. But it's not giving you really any sign of weakness. Anytime it hits that trend line, there you go. So, man, if you're a swing trader, that's a hell of a day. But it was a hell of a day anyway, so not a lot to talk about. It just went, and hopefully you went with it.